Welcome back, this is Luca. I promise this video is going to be short. I'm going to tell you what I think, my first impressions of the brand new 33mm f1.4 from Fujifilm. And I'm going to talk to you basically about the construction quality, about how it feels on different cameras, and again, my first impressions on the optical quality of the lens. I'm not going to deep dive into the image quality. It's too early. I only used it a couple of times, and half of it I cannot show them because it's private pictures with friends and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you at the end of this short video more than a couple of street photography images that I shot with this lens. And let me tell you in advance, I'm very pleased with the result, even if I didn't pixel peep. So I'll save that for later. But let's start from the beginning. So the build quality. The build quality, you see the lens right now on the X-T4, okay? The build quality is really nice. It's made of metal. It is hefty, but not too much. Of course, it weighs a lot, kind of almost twice as much as the 35mm f1.4, and it's a little bit bigger. So on a camera such as the X-E4, it feels a little bit front heavy, not as much as the 18, which is still usable in any case. So it's not that these lenses make the X-E4 unusable, but I think the X-E4 is made for smaller lenses. But again, the 33 is a little bit less heavy than the 18, and it's a little bit smaller, and it makes it a little bit better on the X-E4. While on the X-T4, both of these lenses are great when it comes to balance. So I would say that, and we'll talk about it in the review, these are lenses made for professional, using professional cameras, more than your usual street photography lens that goes on an X-E4. But again, this doesn't mean that you cannot use them. The lens is, again, metal, is weather sealed. It's got a clicky aperture ring over here. Oops, wrong side. Let me focus, okay. And it feels clicky enough. I mean, it feels good. You don't feel like it's too loose or too stiff. And then you have the brand new things from Fuji, which is happening in all the new lenses, where you can lock it in automatic, and then you have to push it to unlock it. You have to push to lock and push to unlock. This is good if you don't want surprises when you're shooting in automatic aperture mode. The front lens is the front of the lens is a 58mm filter thread. Of course, the front element is smaller. You see it over here, but the filter thread is 58mm, which is a little bit smaller than the 62 on the 18mm f1.4. And other than that, I'm very pleased with the construction. Honestly, Fujifilm knows how to make lenses, and it shows with this one and with others. So from the construction quality standpoint, it is really, really good. When it comes to the usability on other cameras, I already told you that, in my opinion, it fits best on XS10, XT4, XT3 kind of cameras rather than on an XE4, but it can be used. And when it comes to the image quality, I quickly realized a couple of things. It seems to be really sharp. And when I mean sharp even from 1.4. It is tack sharp, and it goes really well. I'm really impressed. But this doesn't come, and that's surprising, because people keep saying that the new lenses are becoming too clinical. But in my opinion, looking at, and I'll show you the pictures afterwards, it doesn't come at the cost of bad bokeh. I like the bokeh. I like the overall rendering of the lens. It is not the same as the 35. The 35 seemed a little bit more I don't know, magical. That's probably because of its flaws that makes it different from a more refined lens like the 33 is. But in general, the image quality seems to be really good. It seems to be also good at the corners, but we'll get to that in my final review of the lens. Something else that kind of a bonus, you get really nice sun stars, and this seems to be the look Fuji is going after with the new lenses, because all the new lenses like the 18, the 33, it seems like the 23 is the same. I haven't tested that yet, but I will, I hope. They're going after this kind of look, and the 9-blade aperture helps with that, but the lens in general, the design of the lens gets you this kind of result. There's two things that I noticed that I will probably dive into during the review, is that I noticed a little bit of longitudinal chromatic aberration when it's focused really close, while I didn't see focused close and wide open, while I didn't see those as visible in other combinations of focusing distance and aperture. And I also noticed that as soon as the sun is right outside of the shape of the lens, and I remind you, I don't shoot with lens hoods, you see some ghosting, like the loss of contrast in a specific area of the image. You're seeing that right now. So that one seems to be consistent. I have a couple of pictures like that, so I can already tell you that this is kind of a flaw that I expected to be consistent for the lens, but I guess no lens is perfect, so it makes sense that if it's great in pretty much everything else, it's gotta have some flaws. It is early to think about whether the price is adequate or not. My impression is that it may be adequate for the quality of the lens, but I will have to confirm that. As for now, I guess that's it. I will let you look at my street photography pictures from the fish market in Catania, and I'll let you judge by yourself whether you like the look or not. Mind you, all of those are shot in the negative classic. It has quite of a peculiar look. It's not your normal image, so you probably won't get the sense of the image quality of the lens. We'll do that in the review, but I was pleased with the results, and I'm really happy to show that to you. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one, and subscribe if you like this video and if you want to see all the other videos that I will push out during the next weeks. I'll see you. Bye. One last thing I forgot to mention before I leave you, I forgot to mention that the autofocus seems to be really, really good. And what I mean with really good is I almost didn't miss a shot despite being crowded, despite being confusing, despite being not an easy scene to shoot, so not an easy environment to shoot. And of course it's super silent, and it seems like Fuji nailed here with the autofocus, and it seems like also the tracking autofocus is really good, but we'll talk about it better in the review because I just tried it and I cannot tell you for sure that it's good. So again, bye.